Do you know what time we get out of this debate?
Agenda? Anyone have an agenda?
Is it following the agenda?
More or less.
1:35.
What time is it now?
1:27.
Yeah. You guys want to do like a pro-con final speech?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because we gotta get out of here soon. Okay, so does anyone want to speak pro for this resolution or con for this resolution?
Do con.
Con. Who wants to speak pro?
Okay.
Pro goes first. Oh wait, it's on time keep 3 minutes.
I want it.
I have to go first.
Yes.
Should it be con that goes first?
Yeah. Closing.
They're in closing, con goes first.
Oh yeah, but
We didn't really
yeah, because we're following all the rules.
So.
Yeah, we're
It's
definitely
okay.
following
I wanted
the
to follow this rule, so.
All right, go ahead,
Is it
Ken.
3 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, so are you ready? Okay, so just to clarify one more thing that Matt so rudely interrupted me on, I never said that it's impossible for different species to transmit the same virus. I said that just in that one instance, it's such a specialized case, it's improbable. I did not say impossible, although it's probably pretty close to that. It's probably a 1,000,000 to 1 ratio. Because not only would it have to somehow find a way to resist our more advanced immune system, it would also have to then find a way to transfer from one person to another, because if it only transfers from rats to humans, only a few people are going to get infected, and if it can't transfer from human to human, it's going to be useless. Also, again, if you destroy the frontal lobe, you don't just create a mindless zombie who walks around doing whatever. You create someone who will sit there until you literally pick them up and move them. They won't bite you. They won't even start walking after you mindlessly because you're the only thing moving. They will sit there, looking like they have no clue what's going on, mostly because they don't, because they do not process things the same way. They would just sit there. Historical evidence has proven this. So, you'd have to find something that destroys enough of the frontal lobe to create someone who can't think logically. And even then, you know, people who have had part of their frontal lobe injured still don't end up starting to attack people, because it's not only the frontal lobe, you also have to deal with a lot of the limbic system, as well as the parietal, occipital, and temporal lobes, which make us human, instead of lower level animals which function more on the limbic system and the cerebellum. And so you'd have to essentially find a way to destroy all of the brain while simultaneously not destroying any of it, which is entirely impossible.
Go Matt, go big Matt. That's the nicest bow tie ever.
Okay guys, so in the past couple of minutes, or actually I have a question actually to start us off. So Kent, where did you become, where did you get your education and get your degree on biological engineering?
Santiago High School.
Oh, well that's great because Santiago High School actually doesn't have a biological engineering program. So Kent mentioned that the possibility of a parasite moving from host to host of an animal species to the human species was 1,000,000 to 1. Where he pulled that statistic out of his ass, I absolutely have no clue. But we're going to talk about something that he said in the beginning as well. Lobotomies. Lobotomies, he said, were performed by cutting the first part of the brain, sticking, I think, something, I don't even know if he said a tool,
I didn't say it was a
and
lobotomy.
shaking it around, and then we're done. Okay. Actually, the first lobotomies were performed, they actually took sedation, gave them, put alcohol on their spots. They drilled a hole in, okay, and then that's how they affected the frontal lobe. Then after, it wasn't until the late 1800s that orbitoclasts were removed, and they took a pin and hammered it through the eye, cutting the nerves to the brain. Now, we talk about lobotomies and we compare lobotomies to what a zombie would act like, but this is not the case because parasites, like I said earlier, a parasitic host is something that uses a host in a non-symbiotic relationship in which the parasite is only to gain and it feeds off of them. It's basically like a fungi, okay, feeding off of whatever the body needs and taking it away. They're killing the host, but the problem is parasites need a host to move around and to spread itself. So what it would do is it would take over the person's body. Yes, if something did affect the frontal lobe of somebody's brain, then they're going to be sitting there like an idiot and I can kick them and they're going to fall over. But if a parasite has taken over the frontal lobe of if a parasite has taken over, destroyed the frontal lobe of their brain, and they move with the sole purpose of helping the parasite, well, then you have a zombie on your hands, because that's what a parasite does. It's a non-symbiotic relationship in which it moves only to gain and spread itself to other people. But we only brought up facts about, animals and insects. We didn't talk about as much as what we would do afterwards. Clearly, America needs a plan. And Anthony said earlier, they do have some sort of contingency plan that depends on if the world was affected and things like that. We did actually come to terms, and we said through insects, through rats, through H1N1 virus, we can see species to species jump. We can see through anything that we do. Not only should we have a plan just in case of zombie apocalypse, but for any natural disaster, we don't have a widespread plan, which is exactly why we should have America be ready for anything that's going to happen inside of, the United States and even the world. And
I never said lobotomy.
Alright, let's go.
All right.
We're done.
Let's go, bro. Let's go.
We're done.